workout challenge. You're almost there, a couple days left. Today we have a full body workout. Let's do it. Alrighty, so we are going to be starting day number 15 with a 2-minute plank. It's going to look like this. It's going to be a 30-second high plank hold, followed by a 30-second hip dip. Now remember, you can always lower the hips down towards the mat, the knees rather. And then after that 30 seconds is done, it's going to be the same thing but down on our forearms. So a 30-second hold with a 30-second hip dip, always having that option to lower the knees down towards your mat. Let's see what we can do, but let's work hard for day number 15. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. So once again, we are going to be starting in this high plank hold. Now, being careful and listening to your bodies. If you have sore wrists or this doesn't feel good, just know that you always have the option to lower down towards your forearm plank. You don't have to be in a high plank. You have less than 10 seconds here. We're going to go into that 30-second hip dip. You can always lower the knees down towards the mat in 3, in 2, in 1. So it's just a slight hip dip. It's a slight tilt of your hips, just so that not only are we activating our core, but like our obliques are also really being targeted in these hip dips. Remember, you can be right here. Go slow. Control the movement for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're going to come down towards our mat. We're going to come into that forearm plank hold, either clasping your hands together, maybe bringing your feet a little bit further away from one another. Draw the lower belly in. Squeeze the glutes tight together. Don't forget to breathe. You're almost there. You have 10 more seconds left of this hold. Then we're going to go into our final hip dip. Stay with it. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hovering the hips from side to side. Woo, feels good when we're working so hard. Planks are so good, targeting our entire body. Again, in these hip dips, we are activating our obliques just a little bit more. Always option to come down towards your mat. Check this out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit core for today. We're going to go back to a couple of simple movements, but they're very effective. So feet about 6 inches apart. It's just going to be that normal crunch. Inhaling the shoulder blades up towards the mat and then lowering them down. It's going to be 20 seconds with a 10-second pulse. Then to activate the lower core, we're going to come into our leg lifts. All you're going to do is bring the legs down so far that the low back stays on the mat. Lift them back up, 20 seconds, 10-second flutter. Before you bring your feet back down, we go right back into your normal crunch. So simple but effective, targeting our entire core. That's going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Up and down. You go up, down, up, and lower. Good. Up and down. Again, these body weight movements don't need weights, but you can definitely use them. 3 and 2 in 1. You pulse for 10 seconds. I personally feel with these high intensity interval training, 20 seconds of a movement, 10-second recovery. Doesn't need weights, but you totally can. 3 and 2 and 1. Leg lift. So bringing your legs down so far that the low back stays on the mat, and then bringing them back up. If you can, let's have our legs as straight as possible. Let's see if you can keep your heels together and your toes coming apart. You have a flutter in 3, in 2, in 1. It's a 10-second flutter. So the same thing goes here. You want to bring the legs down so far that the low back stays down on your mat for 3, for 2, for 1. Right back to the beginning. You go up and down, up and down. So as you can see, these movements are simple, back to basics, but I find that you don't need crazy movements to really target the areas that you're trying to work. 3 and 2 and 1. You pulse for 10 seconds. Sometimes the simpler the better. I like to switch it up. 3 and 2 and 1. Back to leg lifts. So for your leg lifts, know that you can keep the shoulder blades lifted. You can always lower them down towards the mat. Either have your hands underneath your glutes. I just like to do this to really pay attention to my low back, but you can have them by the side of your body. You can even just cradle your head in your hands if you feel like you don't need any support. 3 and 2 and 1. You flutter your legs all the way down, all the way up. Feeling the lower core activate for 3 and 2 and 1, feet down. This is going to be your final round of these movements. So last round of your normal crunches, then we have one more round of our leg lifts, and then that's it for this section of your HIIT core. So making it count, you only have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's work our lower core, bringing the legs down and up. See how much can you control the movement as you bring the legs down. If you are holding a weight, you can hold it right here. Woo! Breathing through this. Good for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. We flutter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Slowly coming up to standing, we are going to be doing our legs. Again, back to basics, simple movements but very effective. We're going to come into our sumo squats. So instead of our feet about 6 inches apart, hip distance apart, let's heel toe our feet out. So you're in this wide stance, really making sure your toes are pointing out. You're going to bring the hips down, lift the chest, core strong. We are looking for a flatter back. So instead of inching our chest forward, let's really come down as if you're sliding down a wall behind you, coming down, and then when you come back up, you're really squeezing your glutes at the top. So it's going to be 20 seconds. Then we are going to pulse for 10 seconds. We're going to hold for 10 seconds before we come right back up. Same movement, lots of rounds of these legs, really targeting our lower body. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. So you go down and up, down and up. What I love about, HIIT Pilates, so high intensity interval training, using a lot of Pilates inspired movements, is that we're really targeting tiny muscles, really feeling that burn. 3, 2, 1. So remember, it's a 10-second pulse. For these next 20 seconds, I really want to make sure that you're staying down low. You have a hold in 3, in 2, in 1. You just hold here. Your core is strong. Yes, you're staying down low. You're breathing through this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You lift up and down. You go up and down. Good. You don't have to go at the same pace as I'm going, but I really want to make sure that at the top you're really squeezing your glutes together, feeling everything activate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have a 10-second pulse. When we have these active recoveries, this is where we really feel a burn. At least for me, I definitely feel it. 3 and 2 and 1. You have a 10-second hold. Personally, I find the holds to be the most challenging. Super excited for them to be over. 3, 2, 1, this is it. And then we come back to these squats. We're really allowing the blood to flow, large range of movement, still working super hard, high intensity interval training, 20 seconds of a movement, 10-second, either you're pausing, you're recovering, or you're doing an active recovery, and that's what we're doing with those holds and pulses. 3, 2, 1, we pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Up and lower, up and down. These movements, again, can totally be done with a weight. If I was holding a weight, I'd be holding it right here. Again, you can either choose to do this, either skip the holds or the pulses, whatever works for you. This is your workout. 3, 2, 1, you pulse it. Okay, 10-second pulse followed by a 10-second hold. In these last couple rounds, very important, let's try to stay down low. 3, 2, 1, you have a hold. Stay low, feel the burn, it feels good. If it's burning, it's working. For 3, for 2, for 1. Let's do this. We just have 2 more rounds of our legs. So this is the second last round. In these next 2 rounds, let's see, can we come down just a little bit lower? Engage the core. Can you squeeze a little bit more at the top? You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pulse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Mind over matter. You're way stronger than you think. Stay with it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final round. Woo! Final round. Make it count. Strongest round yet. Coming down a little bit lower every single time. Squeezing a little bit more. You have 10 more seconds. Let's work our legs. Large range of motion. We have those final pulses and holds in 3, 2, 1. We pulse it. Make sure you're breathing through this pulse. All right, come down just a little bit lower. We're going to be holding in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Shake it out. Let's come down towards our mat. We have 3 rounds of HIIT cardio. So we're going to start in a plank jack. So high plank position, your foot goes out, in, out, in. You can always step it out if you're feeling good. Maybe jumping both legs out and then in. 20 seconds followed by a 10-second mountain climber, bringing the knees in towards your mat. We're going to have a little bit of a rest and then we're going to repeat that. So 3 rounds, HIIT cardio. Let's get our heart rates up, low impact, apartment friendly. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do this. You go out, in, in. You can take it super slow. You can really control the movement. If you're feeling good, again, you can go out, in, breathing through the movement. So we have our mountain climbers coming up in 3, in 2, in 1. It's only 10 seconds. Take it slow, take it fast, whatever works for you, but you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. So take a second. You can meet in a child's pose, whatever works for you, but you have your other round coming up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do this. Out, in. Breathe through the movement. Step it out. If you're listening to a really good song, maybe jumping it out to the beat of the song. Remember, you have your 10-second mountain climbers coming up in 3, in 2, in 1 for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Woo! Alrighty, so remember, you just have 1 final round. Best round yet. You can do this on your forearms if your wrists are feeling a little tender. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Out, in. Feels good to work our cardio. Really good cardio movements. Low impact here. Stepping it out. Just like that, you have your final mountain climbers coming up here. In 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, shake it out. Continuing on with 3 rounds of HIIT core. We're going to lift our legs up towards the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your head. You're going to go up and down. 20 seconds with a 10-second hold. That's it. That's all. 3 rounds of that starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do this. Up and down. You go up and down. If it feels better, maybe you can reach for your toes, but if you really want to have a little bit more support for your head, you can interlace your hands behind your head. You have your first hold coming up in 3, 2, 1. You have a 10-second hold. Maybe keeping your hands behind your head, maybe really reaching for your toes so you're lifting the shoulder blades up a bit higher for 3, for 2, for 1. Second last round. Up and lower. You go up and down. Breathe. Exhale down. Exhale down. Try your best to lift your shoulder blades up as high as you can. You have your second last hold in 3, in 2, in 1, let's hold it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is it. You go down, lift up, down, and up. Maybe exhaling every time you lift your shoulder blades up. You only have a couple more seconds. Maybe lift your shoulder blades up just a little bit higher for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. We hold it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. We are going to end our workout with just one round of bridges. It's going to be a little bit of a longer bridge, lots of movement. So we're going to get started lying down on our backs instead of our feet about 6 inches apart. I do want us to come into a wider stance. So heel toe your feet out so that your toes are pointing out instead of being parallel. Arms by your side, palms pressed down towards the floor. Let's get ready for your final exercise of your workout for today. In 3, in 2, in 1, you go up and lower, you go up and down. So squeezing your glutes together, especially at the top. If you are using a weight, you can place the weight right on your hips. Up and down, you go up and down, trying your best to hover your glutes over the mat every single time. That way you know that you're really controlling the movement. Up and down, you go up and down. We're going to be here for a couple more moments. If you feel like you don't need your support of your hands, you can always inhale your arms up towards the ceiling, up and lower, you go up and down. We're really engaging the core. So the core is strong so that you're protecting the low back. We have some heel raises coming up in 3, in 2, in 1. Stay lifted. So lift your heels up, walk your toes a bit closer towards the glutes. Your heels go down and up, your heels go down and up. So trying your best to keep your hips up high, your glutes super tight, your core strong, and your jaws relaxed. So we're not clenching our teeth, maybe smiling through it. We're not here for too long, but what we are targeting are your calf muscles. Down and up, you go down and up. We're going to keep our heels lifted. We are going to be moving our knees in and out in 3, in 2, in 1. Heels up, your knees go in, your knees go out. In and out. Breathe in and out. Feel the glutes activate. Mine are definitely burning right now. Out and in. You go out and in. We're going to do tiny little pulses, more out than in. Get ready for that. In 3, in 2, in 1. Knees pulse to the side. You go out, out, out. Pulse, pulse. Hips high, glutes tight, core strong. You're going to pulse your hips up towards the ceiling in 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. We pulse it up. Up. We're not done yet. So the next movement we're going to do, try to keep your heels elevated. We're going to go back to moving our hips down and up in 3, in 2, in 1. Your hips go down and up. Down and up. Whenever we go from a pulse to a large range of motion, movement, I definitely feel that burn even more. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, back to our heel raises. Get ready, 5 and 4 and 3, 2, 1. Hips high, your heels go down and up, your heels go down and up. So we're kind of just reversing all the movements that we did. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're actually going to bring our heels down towards our mat. We're going to go back to those knees in and out, but with our heels down on the mat this time. It's going to feel a little bit different. In 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, knees in, out and in. Woo! Out and in. You go out and in. It's really nice to switch it up. Bridges are so good. You can do them every single day. Really targeting our glutes, legs, but core is also really working. So good. And it's really a fantastic body weight exercise where you don't need to use a weight to get a super good burn, a really good workout. So we're going to do those knee pulses in 3, in 2,
In 1, pulse to the side, heels down towards your mat, you pulse. Remember, your hips stay lifted, your glutes are tight, your core is strong. You pulse and pulse. You're gonna pulse your hips up towards the ceiling for the final movement. So this is the final movement in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Pulse and pulse, pulse and pulse. For these last few movements, seconds rather, let's keep our hips elevated, glutes super strong, pulse a little bit smaller for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Please give yourself a bit of a squeeze.
Nice job. You did it. You crushed day number 15. I really hope you can give yourself a nice stretch, especially for our glutes. And I'll see you tomorrow for day number 16.